come in. Look at this.
Cheese and lunchly versus whatever that is. Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy, bro.
This stupid motherfucker's just begging to be got.
When they announced the Penguin show, I was a little bit nervous. Warner Brothers, especially with their DC movies, every time when they get one success, they tend to fast map a sequel as quickly as possible, leading to a lackluster script that is sometimes rewritten on a napkin. Yes, Gaga, I'm sure underpaid writers also think watching their scripts tear apart as a liberating experience. Then we have studio heads who have no idea what they're doing interfering with the movie. Michael Keaton's gonna be a movie. Actually, it's gonna be Ben Affleck. Scrap all of it and let's make the last scene of this universe be Ocean Master eating a cockroach.
So good and tasty?
All this mess causes DC sequels to be lackluster or bad. So here we are again. Batman comes out and it's a smash hit. A sequel and 3 TV shows are quickly announced. A Arkham Asylum TV show, a Gotham PD TV show, and finally the Penguin TV show. Now at the end of 2024, 2 of the shows have been officially cancelled and Batman 2 has been delayed to 2026. Not a good sign, and you can see why I was nervous for the Penguin show. Then the show came out and surprised me from top to bottom. The Penguin won the honor of being the best Batman related show that doesn't feature Batman. Not much of a competition. What makes the show amazing and stand out from the onslaught of mediocre superhero TV shows? Every little scene matters. For example, Victor, one of the main characters of the show, has been taken under Penguin's wing. Why would this monster take this nervous teenager who has a stutter disorder as his protege?
I could feel what it was like to go around in the world and have people look at you a certain way.
Then you realize the Penguin sees himself as a kid. He was also born with a disorder. He was born with a misshaped foot, causing him to waddle like a penguin. Both of them have a disorder that affects them every day for the rest of their lives, making others look down at them. All this setup leads to an amazing scene.
Steak fried.
Hey, don't do that. The man was speaking. Let him finish.
That is the difference right there. All these little moments throughout the show makes it into an amazing TV show instead of just a good TV show. It helps that these moments are carried by phenomenal characters. Let's talk about Sophia first, the quote-unquote villain of the show. Sophia, the daughter of the Carmine Falcone, a crime lord family in Gotham City. You know, this piece of shit.
You made me do this. Just like your mother.
One day, she was playing hide and seek when she found her mother hung herself. Her dad quickly runs to comfort her with these unusual scars on his hands.
That's suspicious.
Due to her mother's death, she decided to use her family's wealth to run a charity to help the mentally ill. After an event held by the charity, a reporter came up to her. She said she found multiple bodies who hung themselves throughout the decade, and they all work at the Iceberg Lounge, ran by her father. At first, she blows her off, and then she decides to ask her driver, a young penguin, to talk to her brother. Her conversation with her brother just made her more suspicious of her father's actions and decided to meet up with the reporter. The reporter presented her evidence that all the victims had the same markings as her mother. Despite all this evidence, she told the reporter to stop pursuing the case. A few days later, her father asked to see her. We find out the penguin ratted her out. She asked her dad why did she have those scars on his hands when her mother died. He told her she was not feeling well and asked Oz to take her home. On the way home, they get pulled over. There's another victim. Of course, they suspect Sophia did it. Headlines after headlines saying hangman arrested. Her lawyer is unable to stop her from being arrested because all of her family members, except for her brother, said she has been mentally unwell ever since her mother's death. She was ordered to spend 6 months in Arkham until they get a retrial. Welcome to Arkham. During your stay, we offer restless nights of screaming inmates, drugs to control you mentally, criminals beating you up, and endless shock therapy. After 6 months, she is told by her brother they are unable to get a retrial because the Arkham doctor said she's mentally unwell and has been ordered to stay in Arkham for 10 years. After 10 long years, she is set free, just to find out that her brother was killed, the only person on her side. She has no support system anymore because the rest of her family treats her as a nuisance, not including her within the family business, telling her that she is not feeling well and take a long vacation. Let the men handle the business. Sophia, tired of being the victim, gives one last speech to them.
Jesus Christ, Milos has a higher body count than I do.
Sophia!
Shut the fuck up. I will fucking laser you with alien fucking eyes and explode your fucking head.
Then proceeds to leak some gas throughout the house, killing all of them and take over the family business. What an icon. Talking about victims who decide to stand up for themselves, let's talk about Victor some more. Unlike Sophia, who grew up with money, Victor did not. Like most of Gotham citizens, their family was poor. One day, Victor went to the rooftop with his girlfriend to watch some fireworks and think of a better life for themselves. Suddenly, an explosion happened and water started flooding the streets. Then he realized this was the night Riddler flooded Gotham, and this time you watch it from a citizen's point of view. A horrible point of view where you see Victor's entire family disappear in a second. After that night, Victor has nothing and is forced to turn to a life of crime to survive. One night, he jacked the Penguin's wife. Penguin showed him mercy and decided to take him under his wing, where we see this mobster become a father figure to his eyes, giving him a home, food, and a source of income. But this comes with a cost, where we see this teenager get more and more corrupted, watching him become a mobster just like the Penguin. Speaking of the Penguin, how is our title character?
Maybe you don't like me. It's fine. I'm an acquired taste.
Colin Farrell disappears in a role and hands down the best on-screen Penguin we ever had. Sorry, Trash Man.
Just the pussy I've been looking for.
Jesus Christ.
Let's talk about his backstory first. He was born in Gotham City with two older brothers, Jack and Benny, raised by a single mother. They live poor lives just like Victor. Her mother has high expectations for her boys, and eventually they will make a better life for all of them. However, that doesn't happen. Jack and Benny died while the Penguin was still young, putting all the pressure on him. Without a strong role model, he looked up to a crime lord named Rex. Just like everyone in Penguin's life, Rex died. But he remembered his neighborhood through a parade in Rex's honor. At that moment, he knew he would do anything to gain the same level of respect Rex did. And that means anything. From killing Sophia's brother, working with a rival crime family, stealing drugs, and much, much more, while working with both crime families at the same time.
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
I am a big fan of Better Call Saul. My favorite part of the show is watching Saul talk his way out of these impossible situations. That is the same case with the Penguin. Nearly every single episode we see Penguin in these situations where you think this is how he's going to die. Then he makes some valid points and makes it work out for himself. For example, when he meets with all the gangs to unite them against the Maronis, a rich, powerful crime lord family that has taken over Gotham. Of course, they don't want to work with someone who is a rat and betrays anyone to get ahead. He says, everything you heard about me is true, but what about it? He's just a poor kid in New Jersey trying to make a name for himself and tired of the rich and powerful using them as playthings. They keep taking from you and killing anyone that stands against them, but together we can stand against them and make a name for ourselves. Unlike the Sony movies who are afraid to make villains actual villains, the Penguin is the complete opposite. All three of our main characters are villains and do horrible things throughout the show, but you understand why they become the people they are, and you end up rooting for them. Another aspect of the show that I want to compliment is the comedy. This is not a comedy by any means, but the show builds this tension throughout the show. You don't know what's going to happen next. Then the show releases some of that tension.
Members of Falcone family dead. Boo ho ho. Turn that shit off.
Just to build it up again in the next scene. It's incredible, and I have to give credit to all the writers for finding this balance. I also want to give credit to the cinematography of this show. They were able to capture Gotham the same way Batman did, but on a smaller scale. For example, episode 4, where we watch Sophia's origin story. The director talks about how she wanted to start with the episode with light, showing how the rich people lived in Gotham. Then we get to Arkham. The camera is much more handheld in these enclosed, grimy areas, making us feel what Sophia is going through. All these compliments are nice and all, but does the show stick the landing with its finale? A lot of superhero shows don't stick the landing. Makes you feel like you wasted your time in watching the whole series. It sticks the landing, but let me get the only negative out of the way. Sal dying from a heart attack. I was not expecting a John Wick shootout for this character. It's not that type of show. I just wanted a scene early in the season showing Sal's heart condition so it doesn't feel like it came out of nowhere. I know, it's super minor, but it stands out when everything else is set up perfectly. Also, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Either way, let's talk about some positives, because that was an incredible ending. How far would you go for your mother's love? Would you kill your own two brothers to make sure your mother can't love anyone else but you?
The room where they found him, the cops told me they had to pry the fucking door open to reach him.
Then to find out the mom knew the whole time and tried to kill her own son just to not go through with it and raise a monster?
I got the devil in my house, Rex.
Gotham is a perfect environment for devils to grow, not so much for anyone else. Sophia, my queen, just wanted a fresh start, burning everything down and wanting revenge for her brother. But you went after her mama's boy, who gave you a one-way ticket back to Arkham, with you taking the fault for all of his actions. Don't worry, Sophia, you're not alone. Victor, you were a brother to him, but we all know what he does to brothers.
It's your strength. Also, when it drives you. Fuck if it don't make you weak, too.
A final act killing any humanity that was left, leaving nothing but a boy who's playing pretend. Pretending that he's dancing with his mom in a penthouse and hearing the words, "I am proud of you." But in actuality, these were the last words from his mother.
You're the devil. You're the goddamn devil.
Right before slipping into a coma and never waking up again. Congratulations, Oz. You got everything you ever wanted. I hope it was worth it, because he's coming for you.
Now hold on. Hold on a bloody minute.
If this is level quality we could have gotten with the Gotham PD and the Arkham Asylum TV show, bring that shit back. Greenlight any type of spin-off show. I will watch a Calendar Man TV show. All jokes aside, this level of quality only comes from passion and hard work throughout the whole production, from makeup artists, cinematography, writers, directors, actors, and so much more. Everyone was on top of their game, and I hope this show gets some love during award season. Studio heads are hopefully learning once again that people value quality over quantity, and we're learning to never trust IGN reviews.
Pack your things. Get out of my building.
You're
fired!
Thank you for watching this video. If you want all these videos early and support me and Wordy, consider checking out our Patreon. Either way, thank you for watching and see you next time.